What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and I just want to say this is a spoiler-loaded review of X-Men Apocalypse, and I might lose my credentials over this. You see, this is what you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to release this after people have had a weekend or something to go out and see the movie. Then you come out with a spoiler-loaded review. Give the people time to see the film. You know, the actual general public, or the people who have lives. Let them go see it first. Then come out with your review. Now everybody's doing it on the day the movie comes out. It's getting ridiculous. It is getting ridiculous. Now, let's go forward with the movie review of X-Men Apocalypse. Spoiler edition. Now, this is the spoiler edition, which means that I'm not going to run through every little key and detail in there. I am going to rip this movie apart, because this is a movie I said was good. And I went back and watched it again, and every time I see it, it gets worse and worse. And the reason why is because there's certain elements with the Apocalypse that I felt were blown opportunities to make this movie epic. First off, it is too long. This movie is far too long, and there's a lot of space they could have cut. I think they started off his origin story wrong with Apocalypse. They didn't give you one. They just started basically when he's old and he wants to transform his body and transfer his essence to another body to make himself younger and immortal. Then they transfer to the newest point of Rose Byrne. Rose Byrne should have been in this movie maybe 5-10 minutes. Okay, you want to have her going down there to bring Apocalypse back and leaving the tarp open so that she can go in and the sun can creep in and bring him back and wake him up. That's fine, if that's what you want to do. If you want to do that little scene, that's okay. But here it is, Charles Xavier, the most powerful mutant out there. He goes to Cerebro, he finds Rose Byrne's character, and now he's all this here comes this foolish childhood crush where he acted like a kid. Oh, she's looking so cute, and now he's crushing over Rose Byrne character. And it's like, oh, are we seriously finna do this in this movie? It's like third grade toilet humor, and this is like preschool jokes. And he wants to go to Langley to meet her. Why would you need to go to Langley to meet her? You can read everything in her mind what she just saw in that cave. Period. You don't need to go to Langley to see Rose Byrne. Then you mentioned the fact that you wiped her mind of Cuba and of all of you. So why would you go to Langley to meet Rose Byrne? It didn't make any sense whatsoever. Brings her to the mansion where they find Magneto. He's with Apocalypse, who I have a problem with, because in every form, as you see him right now on this video, you see he's tall. He's bigger than all the other X-Men. He's menacing. He's Apocalypse. He should be at least 8 feet tall. He should be like Xerxes was in 300. He should be towering over them. You see him on the screen, he's like 4'9". I think they had somebody else was taller than him in there. I'm like, what is this? You know, he's not menacing. You know, I'm like, this is not working. And you're not really afraid of him. You know he's powerful, but you're not really afraid of him. So I just felt like they should have made him menacing the way his character is. How could you miss that? And then with the sappy romance I mean, it's just ridiculous because Jennifer Lawrence, she just brought this movie to a crawl. Because, look, we understand now you're the Jennifer Lawrence, and when you signed on to do this thing, you were just Katniss. But when you first got the role, I'm quite sure you understood what came with it. Now she's at the end of her contract and she's the Jennifer Lawrence. She don't want to be in makeup and spend all that time doing all the makeup to be Mystique. Why can't Mystique just be in a conflict with her character and she wants to be regular like everyone else now? Huh? That's pretty dumb. Coming from what just happened in Days of Future Past. Now all of a sudden she wants to be just like the humans and everybody else just because you don't want to go through wardrobe and makeup no more? And then why not have your ex-boyfriend do the same thing? Nobody wants to see him. We want to see Beast. And we don't get Beast. We get this guy. Jennifer Lawrence's ex-boyfriend. And both of them are just walking around saying, well, it's better to just be white than what we are, really. I was like, wow, is this the message? This movie is really missing its mark. Cool scenes. Quicksilver. That whole scene was wonderful. I thought, like, man, okay, great. They did another, like, homage scene for Quicksilver, but now we get to actually see him in more of the film. Then here comes Lieutenant Stryker, who is not explained how in the world he got his hands on Weapon X anyway, because Mystique was the one that got Weapon X, the way it ended in Days of Future Past. So how in the world does he end up with Stryker? It just didn't make any sense whatsoever. Stryker shows up, shoot this cannon in the air, all the mutants fall out. The first person he says grab is Rose Byrne. You get Quicksilver, everybody else, and you want Rose Byrne, who's just a regular human, an agent? Why is Rose Byrne being taken anywhere? It doesn't make any sense. She has no place. As you can leave her right there with the rest of all them kids, mutants. All of them are worth more than Rose Byrne. I guess somebody's gonna let me know what they thought. So, moving right along, you just think it can get no worse than where they are right now. They go into this sloppy romance with Jennifer Lawrence and Beast, how he likes her, and everybody's caught up with the color blue. They could have named this film Blue, because it's all the theme is, oh, I made this blue because of you. Oh, I see you're not blue anymore. And I'm like, this is just terrible. This is terrible. What is this sloppy, sappy romance? All of a sudden, Jean Grey is crushing on Scott because fire can come out of his eyes, and he burns down a tree. Now he's cute. She's interested now. It's like all these tones that they're trying to give off is unnecessary. The general public isn't this stupid. We can follow the movie. Let something develop naturally. It does not need to be forced. We don't need the quirky look, the creepy stare with the smile. We understand she's going to be with him. The Weapon X scene was great. Watching Wolverine lose it and go off just like how people envisioned him losing it and got the camera on his head, everything. I liked the whole scene with the Weapon X. There was no problem with that scene whatsoever. But it explains a lot. But I want to know, how did Stryker get him in the first place when it wasn't Stryker that got him? So Mystique is walking around. Jennifer Lawrence is on a no-show job. Basically, the entire film, going through all of this motions like she really cares, and then she's, I don't care, but I do care, through the entire movie. Then you have the character of Magneto. Him and Professor Xavier, well, their dialogue together was holding the film together, because Fassbender was excellent as far as every part of the aspect of the pain of his family and dealing with the fact of Charles Xavier and his mission to want to destroy everything because of what they took from him when his wife and child died. Now, while we all know Quicksilver is the son, because they revealed that in the previews and the trailer, so you know going in that this is Magneto's son. Everybody knows except for Magneto. This would be a great cue to use to have him help Charles and the rest of the mutants. This is a big catalyst. You take him all the way up there for him not to mention that he is the son of Magneto. Why wouldn't you? Magneto is going through this whole thing based off, he's heard every argument you've given him before. Even you, Mystique, he's heard all your arguments. So, if he's heard all your arguments before, why in the world are you, this is gonna change his mind just because you two come up there? It just makes zero sense. It would be more plausible if he sit there and said, I'm your son, so you haven't lost everything. You did lose your wife and daughter, but you still have a son. That has more weight as to why he would stop what he was doing to try to do something to save his son. Better than, I'm just going to join the fight now. You guys have been telling me all the time, but you know what? We're winning, but alright, I'll join in. It just made no sense. It's blown opportunities. The whole mind challenge thing, that was nice. You know, I had no problem with the way it ended. I just wanted to see more from the characters that was in the film. I think that we deserved a little bit more and a little bit less. I think that's a fair statement to put it. A little bit more, a little bit less. The ending I felt was okay, except for Cyclops and everything else. She was basically non-existent, and it felt like they were on a green screen. You know, it did not feel like they were on a. You look at this, and you saw them on a battlefield. The CGI in this was terrible. It was next to terrible. I have seen better CGI in this new Ghostbuster film coming up than this. This is an X-Men movie. I mean, that's the terrible CGI when he burnt the tree down with Cyclops. That phony fake fire. And I was like, that's bad. That is just bad CGI. And there's a lot of bad CGI in here. I swear it looks like they're on green screen. The way Cyclops cuts the car in half, she lands, all of that is like green screen. And you see Angel, and he's throwing the blades. All of that looks green screen. It does not look like they're in a city or a town fighting. It just looks phony. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm digging too deep. But y'all tell me what you think. I am completely done talking about this movie.